I wish that I had 4 $100 bills to fan over myself to start the beginning of this video. I unfortunately do not, but in this video I have an update to my most recent video talking about my Depop scam that happened to me, and this update is good, so buckle up. It's going to be a short video, but I really wanted to talk about it because a lot of people asked questions and wanted me to follow up, so that's what this video is. So my last video I talked about how for about a year now, Depop has been charging me a 10% seller fee on every one of my sales, which they shouldn't be doing because after, I think it was either June 15th, 2024 or July 15th, 2024, I keep messing up which month it is. But either one of those months, after that time, anything you listed that sold after that time, there would be no seller fee. So there'd only be a transaction fee. And I noticed just very recently now, like a year later after that date, more than a year later, that I was getting charged a seller fee, which I thought wasn't supposed to happen. And so I did some research into it, and I found out it's happened to a few other people while I reached out to Depop, and they kind of broke down the fee structure. I'll just read to you guys what the email says because it will do a much better job of me than just explaining it. So I'll go to Depop. And the people I worked with were super nice. All right, so I sent them the message, right, with my concerns. And they said, thanks for reaching out, blah, blah, blah. And then they said, our payment provider Stripe charges a small fee, which is 3.3% plus 45 cents. And that is the transaction fee, which I already knew about. And then they said, if you're in a state where sales tax is applied, then we'll collect that too. But don't worry, we'll just take the amount the buyer sent you to cover this. More on that here. And then they also said if you are seeing higher fees than expected, this may be because you selected ship with Depop times USPS. I wasn't sure what that meant. I just used Depop shipping, so I was kind of confused by that. But I responded with, yes, I do understand all those charges, but see, I have been charged a Depop fee for almost a year now. But in June 2024, okay, seems like it was June, Depop got rid of the Depop fee for anything listed after June 2024. I click onto every single sale and then scroll down to the breakdown of fees. For example, on my most recent sale of $30 for a dress that I sold, I was charged $1.65 for a transaction fee, but also $3 for a Depop fee. I should not have been charged a Depop fee because I listed that dress less than a month ago, so the Depop fee shouldn't have applied. This has happened for several sales now, adding up to well over $300. Excuse me. I would just like a refund for all those accumulated Depop fees, please. Then the person that responded said, hey, Kate, thanks for getting in touch about this. Free selling fees apply. Okay, I was wrong. It is July. I keep going back and forth. It was July. Free selling fees apply to all listings that meet our terms from sellers in the UK created on or after the 20th of March 2024, and in the US, created on or after the 15th of July 2024. So it's been well over a year, right, since they got rid of seller fees for anything listed after July 15th. If you have listings after the 15th of July 2024 that were sold, please send us all the buyers' usernames so we can process the reimbursement for you. Looking forward to hearing from you. So I very early in the morning, I had woken up to go to the bathroom and I was checking my emails and I noticed that the Depop person responded a second time. And so I went through starting from July 15th and onward, every single username. I had to type out every single username. Look at that. So many usernames. It took forever and I did a bunch of double checking. Oh my goodness, it just keeps going, you guys. It just keeps going and going. So many usernames. It was so tedious, but I'm like, if I'm going to get multiple $100s if I do this, it's worth it. So Depop responded again. Hey, Kate, thanks for getting back in touch and sharing the usernames of your buyers with the Depop fee transactions that were impacted. I've now processed the total of $408.34 for you for the reimbursement of the Depop fee charged in your account and sent the payment to your connected bank. Additionally, the buyers listed below won't be part of the reimbursement for the Depop fee since their listings were created before the 15th of July 2024, which I knew some of the usernames that I put in my email were from buyers of sales of listings that were before July 15th, but it ended up being like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 sales out of all of the ones that I sent were listings that were listed before July 15th, 2024. But that is crazy. I got this email today, actually, when I was at my daughter's preschool orientation. The teacher was talking to them, so I was just checking my email. And I saw that Depop had finally responded, and I saw that I was going to get $408 plus something cents. And I am so excited. I am so excited about this. I mean, that's a huge chunk of change, right? Like, you don't notice it bit by bit, but it does add up to a lot. Kind of makes me think, you know, every time I go out to just buy like a little purchase, but if I do it every single day, like if you buy a coffee every day at Starbucks, it adds up to a lot. So that is kind of crazy, but definitely double check on your Depop if you are being charged a seller fee, because you should not be if you listed your items after July 15th, 2024. So just make sure on that, because you could get a huge payout like I did, which is incredible, right? Like, we want to buy a bunk bed for my daughters because my younger daughter has kind of outgrown her crib and we'd love to have more room in their room. Obviously, we have 4 rooms in our house, so we could give them each their own bedroom, but me and my husband both have our own offices. With that being said, I wanted to buy a bunk bed, and the bunk beds we're looking at are within our price range, but there's this one that is like $375. It's on Amazon, and now I can buy it. And I don't think I'm going to reinvest it into my business because it was money that I wasn't expecting, and I want to put it towards that bunk bed because it has like a slide and it's like a house. It's super cute. Maybe I'll pop up a picture. But that is absolutely crazy. And I think the reason that I was being charged the seller fee, even though I live in the US, is because I didn't have my billing address set up, I think. I'm honestly not too sure. I remember reading on Reddit the reason that they were getting charged a seller fee even though they lived in the US or UK was because they didn't have their billing address set up. And so what I did was I went into my settings and I went to my profile, and then I just added I don't know where I went, but I added my billing address. And so hopefully we'll see. I haven't made a sale on Depop in 9 days. It's actually been kind of slow on Depop, unfortunately. But my last sale was 9 days ago, and I was charged the Depop fee. But now that I've added the billing address into my account, I shouldn't be charged the seller fee, but we'll see going forward. I didn't make sure to include that in my email. I didn't send to Depop in the email asking if they would make sure that I'm not charged a Depop seller fee going forward. But we'll see if that makes any difference. I did have on my account that I live in the US, and I think you can tell with your servers, unless you have like a VPN, that you live in the US. I'm sure like you could work around it, right? Say you live in a different country and not want to be charged seller fees. I mean, that would be dishonest, but there's probably a way to do it, although I'm not saying to do it. I just clearly live in the US, and I think that I don't know actually how popular Depop is, but I feel like Depop is the most prevalent in the UK and the US. So I'm just happy to have that worked out. Get that big chunk of change. Make sure that you guys check your Depop. You will see it here down below. In the price breakdown, it says the item price, and then the shipping should be $0 if you use Depop shipping, meaning you charge your buyers for shipping. And then the Depop fee, I don't even know. I don't even know if it will say a Depop fee. If it does, it should say 0, and then it should have the transaction fee amount and then your total. But I can't believe that it's accumulated to $408. And I texted my husband all excited. I said, I was at my daughter's preschool orientation, and I said, we're getting $408 of stuff that it's all of those Depop fees that have accumulated. And he said, sweet. And I think he checked her bank account and he said, I think it's already in there. So I might order that bunk bed for my daughters. It's just a nice surprise, right? I often feel like I have bad luck, and I made that Whatnot video recently talking about how I feel like I failed Whatnot. And so it's nice to feel like I have like this extra fun surprise. But let me know your thoughts down below. Definitely check, like I said, has this happened to you or anyone else? I'm super excited about this return on my, I was going to say return on my investment. I'm really just happy for this amount of money that came back to me. Like I said, I wish I had 4 $100 bills to fan, you know, I feel like wealthy. Whenever there's an unexpected amount of money that I get, I feel like wealthy. And I don't want to like spend it, right? I was planning to save the money if I got a return on the money, and I did. But then I was thinking, wait, I want to buy my daughters this bunk bed, which isn't really a frivolous purchase. It's a bed that I need for them, and it's a little bit more expensive than I would usually get, but I can afford it now because of Depop's goof up. So in the long run, I'm kind of happy that Depop messed up. Hopefully this hasn't happened to too many other sellers, because I can imagine if this video gets out to a bunch of other people, or more people find out that they have been charged seller fees and they shouldn't have been, Depop's going to have to pour out a lot of money into, you know, paying back all those people, which over time isn't a lot for Depop, right? If they don't have a seller fee, but if they have to pay out all this money at once, that's going to kind of suck for them. But I've been seeing a lot of Depop ads actually where they specifically say, you know, buy, sell, Depop. They have a little catchy slogan or whatever, and then they say no seller fees. So maybe more people will catch on. Maybe it's just really rare and it happened to me for some reason. But I feel like I'm a pretty well-established seller, so I feel like, I don't know, I don't understand how they missed it, right? Maybe if you didn't sell very many items on Depop, but I sell a fair amount of stuff on Depop, and so that was a big goof up on their part, and hopefully other sellers that are large sellers on Depop don't have this mistake and notice it and then reach out to Depop, because Depop is gonna be in the hole a little bit with money. Anyway, that's it for the update. Thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.